Semi-final. Go Next is playing against Team Wah. We have our first best of 3 of the day, and yeah, again, heading into this match, the one thing that is definitely certain from the start is that Team Wah is the favorite here. But we've already seen some of the favorites struggle, not only in this tournament, but also in the previous one. As it stands, though, Team Wah is second place in the leaderboard. The top 8 of the leaderboard will move on after all the qualifiers to the to the playoffs, where the teams are playing for 4,000 euros of prize money here in the X Cup Summer. And Go Next, they are obviously not only hoping to really push into a good position for the top 8, but also maybe into the top 4, which would give you a position in the winner bracket of the playoffs. So, yeah, whereas the bottom 4, rank 5, 6, 7, and 8 start in the lower bracket, so to say. So, now as we're having the bans coming in, the question is Vala going to be banned out here in Infernal Shrines? That would be the natural next ban from the perspective of Go Next, since Team Wah has first pick. So, yeah, support get targeted a bit. We'll see what they can do here. Also seems that they are once again not playing with Masquerade today, Team Wah. So if Zelia is playing the tank position once more, that is also kind of terrifying. Zelia for the first time played tank the last tournament, the 7th tournament. We're currently in tournament number 8 out of 10. And Zelia just destroyed. I mean, it was ridiculous. Zelia was insane. Absolutely insane. So now that we're heading into the first game of this best of 3 series, we'll find out soon if Zelia is again on the front line and can just dominate. He played a lot of Anubarak, he played some Diablo. Both would be quite nice here. Junkrat as the early pick. No Vala pick at all, in the early rotations at least. Chromie and Blaze instead for Go Next. So they're going to go for the range poke here. But yeah, next 2 picks. Are we going to get a Vala, or do they just completely abandon the thought of using her? Because Vala in general, I mean, is really strong on Infernal Shrines. The multi-shot build allows you to, I mean, pretty much get everything done during the Shrine fight. You have the hits against the opponent's team, against the minions as well. We get Stukov, and we get Leo. I can't help myself. I really, really like Leo, and honestly, I know it's a little bit of heresy, but as much as I enjoy the janitor skin, the Ice Giant setup is just way better for Leoric. It's just awesome. When the Ice Giant like strides through the battlefield. Absolutely fun. Pretty amazing. And I really want to see what Dequaza can pull off here. We had so many good entombs lately too. That's kind of nice. Again, this Anubarak pick immediately signals that they watched the last tournament and they know how insane Zelia was on the hero, and also how much Zelia targeted Anubarak, because whenever he had the chance, he played Anubarak. But if they really want to deny him a few more of the heroes that he excelled at, then they have to go and pick Diablo themselves now, which might actually be happening. So the next ban, the last ban, it's Malfurion. Can already detect the trend there. Yeah, really starting to ban out some of the top supports of the game. Now there are of course still plenty left, but still Stukov is taken. Uther, Brightwing, and Malfurion all banned out. And we get Stitches. Okay, Stitches is the main tank. And what do you go for the follow-up? Ooh, I don't like that at all. On this map, really? I mean, again, obviously, I'm not really the biggest Tyrande fan right now as a meta pick. I've been talking about this a lot on Battlefield of Eternity, where we had a few teams pick Tyrande with mixed results. Some kind of made it work a bit. The problem with her is still, I mean, she adds a lot, don't get me wrong. If you go for a blow-up comp, she's nice, and back in the past, she was played a lot with Stitches Hook into Randa Stun and Hunter's Mark. On Battlefield, she adds a bit more to the team because she can also put the Hunter's Mark on the objective. But with that, let's get picked now with Karrigan and Muradin. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I think Go Next is going to get shit on now, and I think that Tyrande is going to get farmed. If you play Tyrande and you really want to make her work, you need to keep her safe. I don't think that's possible against what they're up against right now. I think Tyrande is a very, very questionable pick, and I'm not a fan. If she gets changed a bit more, then she brings more to the table. Generally, I like her. But I think with everything that we have on the other side now for Team Wah, with Karrigan, with Muradin that can jump in, with Leo that can go towards her, the displacement from Junkrat and then Stukov behind it, I think that's a huge liability. So, yeah. Infernal Shrines, game number 1, Team Wah against Go Next. Let's see if they can make Tyrande work or not. Game number 1 in the best of 3 series here at the semifinal. Game number 1 in the semifinal. Well, And the first big question here is, will Go Next make Tyrande work or not? That's the question here. Now, right from the start, I have to reiterate again that the favorite in the series is the red team. There's just no denying this. They won so many of these qualification tournaments already. It is pretty impressive. I mean, to be exact with you, up to this point, they won 4 tournaments. They participated in 5 tournaments and they won 4. And that is just absolutely ridiculous. So in the one tournament where they lost, they made 2nd place. They lost, I believe, against the Khaldor. And yeah, it's honestly, to me, it's absolutely incredible how well the red team played thus far. So it's a very, very difficult match for Go Next in the first place. But I think that Tyrande is going to make it even harder. And there it is already. So yeah, she is going to get farmed here. The very aggressive playstyle that we've seen time and time again from Team Wa is going to come out here once more. Good play from Zero, by the way, as he's nearly taken down Junkrat, so that's nice. But we're going to see Kerrigan make moves for Tyrande whenever she has an opportunity. We'll see him ghost in. We have the jumps on Murden. And yeah, that's the 2nd kill already. Right from the beginning, Team Wa is establishing dominance here. And I am a little bit afraid that this might be a very, very big beatdown against Go Next. But again, they have also some threats here. If you get a good hook through with Wit and then the follow-up from Tyrande is there, there's always a chance that you can get those kills in. I mean, this was an old school comp. This was in the times of old. It was nearly as Muradin Tyrande was a little bit more popular, but Stitches Tyrande was also something that you've seen a lot. And it was just absolutely fantastic in the early days, in the alpha, the beta, when we had all of that happening. Tyrande, of course, at some point was a regular pick and ban, but Blizzard changed a lot of things around her. And since more heroes with a lot of mobility creep were added to the game, she was also more and more threatened by those mobile assassins that could always put the pressure on her. Her problem is the lack of a good escape and also the low hit point pool, so she's very, very squishy. But that's exactly the comp that you want to go for if you want to get a kill. And you can already see that it threatened Muradin. If that hook landed on anybody else but Muradin, pretty sure we would have seen the first kill for Go Next here. But with more than a level lead now, the red team is already very, very dominant on map number 1, Infernal Shrines. So that could become a huge issue around the first objective too, because if you have this much of a lead this early in the game, it could very well translate into an early level 7 that then helps you to run the objective and maybe snowball the game. Zelia riding in style on the money pick. As already mentioned before, he's currently the frontliner for them, so he is going to play it out on Muradin. And yep, there's the hook. Oh, gets tethered back in, but we didn't get the stun. Zela gets completely isolated here though, and he's trying to get away, but nope, this time he goes down. So Go Next with a nice kill. That helps them a lot to close the gap in experience, and also it comes at a pretty good time because now they will have the lead on the objective. We are early in the game, so Muradin is not going to be down for that long. But it's more than enough to get the early presence on the shrine and get a bit of a lead here. Death Knight also with a quick spray. And off we go. Objective number 1. The lead goes to Go Next. That was a real important kill. Obviously, the time trap that we had from Chromie in this position really, really helped on this one. Muradin is now back to business, and this worries me a bit too, because only one team has a camp, and this one is going to do a lot topside. So, or potentially at least. And that's something that Go Next just didn't do. They were busy killing Muradin, but they paid a bit of a price for it as well. There's another stun, the combo, the kill. Blaze down, Kelvin gets wrecked, and Skynox is on the run. Easy double kill, big problem, and the lead on the objective now for Team Wa. Topside towers have taken down the Shaman camp, so that at least is not going to threaten the keep. But the Mortar Punisher at the bottom of the map is still an easy lock for the red team. One of the advantages is, of course, that level 7 talent that they currently have here. Yeah, another hook, another stun, and this is exactly the danger. This is the big advantage of that combo with Stitches and Tyrande, as highlighted earlier. If you hit a squishy with it, then that squishy is dead. And that kill means a lot, because Junkrat is still the one that can get the most poke damage in. And there's another hook kill. I like it. Go Next is doing the best out. I mean, they're making the best out of the situation here, and they're also getting a whole lot of value out of all of this. Now, it helps, of course, that only a couple of heroes were down at the bottom of the map. The problem for the blue team is that everybody else, Leoric, Kerrigan, were able to push the lanes even further. If it would have been a 5 versus 5 at the bottom of the map, I'm pretty sure the situation would have been a little bit different in these fights. But as it stands, they're making a play for Wit. At least they're trying. The drain is in. Kelvin, is he going to go for the tether here? Not quite. Stun gets dodged out, but the jet propulsion hits, and Zelia gets zipped back in. The coordination on the side of Go Next is there, and I gotta say, well done. They get their coordination. I mean, they're well coordinated now, and in the early game you could really tell that it definitely hurt them a bit to lose heroes this quickly and getting completely pressured by Kerrigan, Muradin, and Leoric like this, but now they stabilized and they find themselves in a halfway decent spot. Still behind, especially in experience, which leads now to an early level 10 talent for the red team, but that's much better than expected. They're not falling apart, they're doing the best they can here, and they are catering to their own strengths. Now, there's a bit of an invade happening at the Khaldor camp, and maybe Stitches can land a hook. Skynox is already in position, so he's hoping to follow that up. There it is! And they get the hook, and there's the follow-up damage. Well done. Team Wa is a bit predictable at this point. And Zelia, he's really struggling against all of the CC. I mean, time and time again, he gets tethered back in after the fight. But here comes the play for Dino, and he goes down. Junk Red is, yeah, easily killed. And, well, with that, we now have 6 kills to 4 for Go Next. Impressive, I like it. I like it. This is the big threat of Stitches and Tyrande. Now, what Team Wa needs to do again, they need to be the ones to really drive the fights. And if you followed what happened over the last couple of minutes, you see that they stopped doing that. Instead of being the ones that are engaging into the blue team, trying to pressure Tyrande, what they are doing is they're taking camps, they expose themselves on the map, and then Go Next comes in and gets the hook. This is more the type of play that need to execute if they want to get ahead here. They need to be the ones ganking, they need to be the ones to make the engage happen, and especially if they're going into a team fight, they need to pressure Tyrande in particular. If they are the ones that are just sitting back, going for cams, farming on the lane, and then that hook comes out of nowhere and connects, they are in trouble. So they have to change the playstyle a bit more towards what they ran in the early game if they want to be successful here. But one thing is still true, and that's of course a slight concern here, and that is the experience gap between the two teams, despite the fact that Go Next has the lead in kills. It's now a half-level lead that we're talking about here, and that comes particularly because of the side lane setup. But here you see it again. Blue team tries to get into a position. They try to sniff out where the red team is and then make their play. And here comes the engage. So Kerrigan combo gets dodged out. Very nicely done by Wit. Wit is juking out everything that he can here. Yeah, but level 13 will still give an advantage over to Go Next. Good hook! And Dino is putting the junk into the red. That's a quick kill again. Tyrande with the hits. I like it. Honestly, round of applause. Round of applause to the blue team. Nicely done. I'm a bit hyped here. They are running this way better than I expected, especially after the early game. Gia, as you can see, is now attempting to threaten Skynox a bit more. But at this point, Tyrande is protected most of the time by her frontliners, and that makes it difficult for the team to engage. So Team Wa, they need to get their shit together. They need to engage properly and change their strategy. Instead of being the ones that are getting engaged upon, they need to be the ones making the plays. And they're going to try and make that happen again. Yeah, who gets dodged out. Zelia has obviously learned from the previous encounter. 21 stacks to 19. They move straight into the backline, and that's more what we're talking about. But there it is. The Gorge against Azerite. Chromie is dead. Good move against Death Knight 2. Azerite is still a little bit low and gets tethered back in. And thanks to the jet propulsion of Death Knight's Blaze, he dies. But Blaze is also getting dropped. So it's a kill for a kill, and Leo is still on the point in an attempt to lock in the Punisher for their team. Down here, Zelia doing his best. Oh, good isolation from Dino, who's back again. The combo! And Kelvin is moving out just before the stun connects. But the Arcane Punisher still gets taken by the red team. And now they have a chance to take the top 4 down. That's pretty much inevitable. Virulent reaction. We got the Chrysalis in and the ominous Wraith. Yeah, Ominous Wraith and Royal Focus set up for them. So they're still doing fairly well. The Bronze Beard Rage, they're still a kill behind. But you look at the minimap and you can immediately tell that there is a big advantage on structures for Team Wah. They take the top fort. They're gonna maybe even take the one in the middle as they're now making a play for it. And Skynox and his boys, they've done fairly well with all of these kills that they got here, but the question is, can they maintain that? 26,000 damage for Dino. Hao comes out and he immediately moves away from that. That's of course always the problem with Stitches. Stitches is amazing and the threat level that he has is incredible, but it's always a question of whether or not the hook lands. I think he just pulled him out of the Riptire, by the way. So that was a bit unfortunate. Skynox would have died if not for that. Instead, it's Gia who is likely going to fall. Yeah, Kerrigan is down. They might get the counter kill at least against Maiev, but no, not even that is happening. Stitches gets attacked too. He doesn't have to gorge up. And Zelia is able to make his way past the fight. Dequaza also gets attacked. Stukov has moved down to the bottom. But over here, the fort is nearly down. Yeah, with the last few hits coming in from those minions, it will fall whenever anybody gets a hit in. And level 16 talents are now ready. So, much better coordination from Go Next than what we're seeing from Team Wa. Red Team isn't horrible or anything with that. But it felt that after the early game they maybe took things a little bit too lightly and paid the price for it. And now have to be careful here again. They still, of course, hold the advantage. But, yeah, the fort is soon going to fall. Leo's still ghosting around. He's the best one to make it out of the fight. Going for the camp. Okay, they dodge out on the hook, and that's the important one. Now that the hook is on cooldown, they have way more options here, and they're going to take this. But as long as the hook is there, they always have to be super careful, especially the backliners. When we're talking about Stukov, a problem for him is that with good positioning on Stitches, any lurking arm that you are trying to drop is becoming an immediate liability, because you are just putting yourself in a stationary position that Stitches can exploit. There's the hook, there's the gorge, and now Tirana needs to follow up. But she's not here. Tirana isn't here. Dino, on the other hand, falls straight into the trap with Maiev, and that's another kill. The squishies getting hooked like this is continuing to be a problem. And Dino is really struggling with that. Wit is also getting pinged for a reason here. He is hitting hook after hook. But the one thing that doesn't change is the experience lead for Team Wa is consistent. Despite the fact that we get kill after kill for Go Next, Team Wa is ahead in the leaderboard when it comes to levels. And also on structures. So the macro play just isn't there for Go Next, and that's a problem. As the kills continue throughout the late game, the position might get a bit better for the blue team because the death timers increase and then you have map control for longer. But if you look at the minimap, all of these kills don't mean a whole lot right now. They're great and they're a good step, but if you give up map control because of it and then you lose structures, then it's an issue. And it has led to the gate and the tower at the top lane being destroyed. Now they're moving still around as a 4-man. And Dequaza is already fighting himself down at the bottom of the map in an attempt to pressure the last remaining fort on the blue team side. Yeah, the hook attempt was not bad, but they're gonna get away from this one. Dequaza is not risking anything. And we're talking about another objective, and that's team fight, of course, that we are looking at. And the camp gets taken. There's no counter camp. So potential pressure on the top keep, especially if catapults are assembling too. And yeah, that's the issue right here. So once again, seeing Zelia jumping out, didn't have to commit to his ult yet. 7 stacks. The longer this lasts, the better, by the way. Kelvin is now at the top. Look at Zelia. He's already playing around the Bond Spear Rage. They are trying to hunt him down, but that is giving the red team a lot of time on the objective. This is not really going well for them. Nice dodge on the hook with him immediately committing to the ghost. Ghosting around here. Skynox's pressure. That's exactly the play that they need to make. Top camp is pushing. There's the gorge against Wit. I don't think that's going to be enough. The pressure out and the tether. But the stun does not connect properly. Muradin drops the avatar. Death Knight is low. He's barely getting saved by Wit. Great play. But Chromie died. The top control is also missing, so they have to deal with this wave before it starts to damage the keep itself. We already have 30 stacks towards Team Wa's objective, and they will lock in another one. Nicely done. They're staying at 37. They're playing it out in the mid lane a bit first. If, of course, they can catapult that forward to level 20, that would be the dream at this point. Junkrat, for that very reason, is already up at the bottom. That, on the other hand, is an issue. Zelia getting killed here puts Muradin down for 60 seconds. And yeah, that's a big deal. Because now the blue team can try and force the objective. They're not going to take this anytime soon. Really? Okay, 39. Alright, he puts it to 39 and then they're waiting this one out. Junkrat can always take it with the grenades, but they are hoping for Muradin to get back before they have to claim it. And in an ideal world, of course, you want to have level 20. I'm more surprised that Go Next is not forcing it by moving in. Go Next strategy seems to be instead to use the map control that they have to get the experience so that they have level 20 themselves. They know that they have to defend against the Punisher one way or another. And the goal seems to be to just get Storm Talons, but I'm not so sure if that's a realistic... If that's a realistic idea here. Yeah, I'm very skeptical, actually. Now, a second kill. That would change things. If they can get a staggered death, that would be big. But now the camp is taken, level 20 is hitting any second, Muradin is back. They should have taken the Punisher already, but they didn't want to move into the mid lane, I suppose. So now Go Next is likely going to get their level 20. Yeah, the hook over here did not connect, but now they might be able to trap them. Yeah, there it is. The silence, the stun. Goodbye, Blaze. Level 20, Punisher's taken, Muradin gets stunned. Nope, he doesn't. He uses Avatar before, and now they're chasing them down. They got level 20, they got the objective, they got a 5 versus 4. This is the dream. Skynox gets attacked too. A mace to the face would drop her, but instead they're going for Chromie, and the mace hits hard. Tyrande is also dead, and it's an absolute slaughter all of a sudden. Instantly, 3 kills are coming together. Still no level 20. 4 Go Next. And with the help of the Punisher, team moves through the middle of the map. They want to get more kills. They want to stagger the deaths here. And they, of course, want to end their game. If they can take down at least the keep, that would already be a win. But the goal has to be to end it all and go for the core. Especially with this beautiful comp on Stitches. They drop him, he's down for 60 seconds. That's a staggered death on top of it too. Even if Blaze is back, he won't make a difference any longer. The objective is on the core, and so are all 5 members of Team Wow. They take game number 1. Nicely done, GG, and well played as the red team locks in the lead in this best of 3 at the semi-final of the 8th qualifier.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Game number 2, Tomb of the Spider Queen. Tyrande doing a bit better with that Stitches composition, at least in the mid game, than expected. The result was pretty much the same and as predicted. So map control was a big problem. Team Wa just had much better macro play in the last one. And despite all of the kills that came from the hooks and the follow-up behind it, it never really seemed too much of an issue for the red team because they were always ahead in experience and always ahead in structures too. So that was something where Go Next just couldn't really put a dent into the armor. We start things off again with the ban on Anubarak, so that happening means that Zelia won't be able to go for the super aggressive engages in the main tank role here. But what else are we going to get? Obviously, the red team is aiming for a quick move into the grand final. And since in the other semi-final, it's the Hardos against the Flipping Mafia, there is a chance that we're going to see Team Wa up against the Hardos once more. And that, with a victory for Team Wa, would lead to both of them being tied in points for first place in the leaderboard. So it's kind of interesting. As pointed out, 4 tournaments. Wait, now I have to actually think about this again. So in total we had 5 tournaments that the red team participated in, and they won 4 of them. They won 4 out of the 5. In the 5th one they took 2nd place. So pretty cool actually. Super powerful here. Especially with Zelia now on the main tank for the time being, as Masquerade isn't playing them. Masquerade I think is on vacation. Again, summer tournaments, obviously a lot of the players are currently on vacation, either for a longer period of time or for a short period of time, a couple of days. Shamsik is another example. Hydra has been playing for the Mafia in the meantime, but as far as I know, next week he's going to be back. So, one of the few times when neither Zagara nor Vala has been banned out, and that results in Go Next going for Zagara here. Do we get the... Yeah, we do get the Vala pick. And we have Malfurion together with it. So Team Wa with Vala and Malfurion. and Zagara on the other side. So Miss Squishy, I mean, to be fair, both of the damage dealers are squishy, but the beautiful thing for Zagara is that she also has a lot of siege potential on structures, a bit more than Vala. Vala still has the wave clear with the AoE against the waves, of course, but Zagara, with everything that she has to offer with the roaches, with the banelings, she can also take structures down very quickly. And there's Stitches and Urel. Now, what do you ban in that position? Because Uther would be a good follow-up with his stun. Tyrande could be played again. Malfurion has already been claimed, but you also have Stukov. Ah, no, Stukov has been banned already. So I guess the biggest threat in regards to lockdown are currently Tyrande and Uther. I mean, to be honest with you, I would probably ban Uther and let Tyrande go through, because if she gets taken, yes, she can be a threat, but she also is a bit of a liability, as we've seen on the previous map, if you are able to put pressure on her. And I blanked on Brightwing. Surprise, surprise, I know. Didn't consider Trashwing here. Uther gets banned instead from Go Next, so they're a bit worried about the potential double support with Vala. Can't blame them for that either. Could still play Zarya or another support. I mean, it would be kind of nice to see something like Morales again, right? So we saw that already once, but I think not that that's... I don't think that's becoming a regular pick, so yeah. Well, moment of truth. Against the Stitches and URL setup, Kerrigan and ETC. I gotta be blunt. Is anybody surprised by the Kerrigan? Because now, if you pick Tyrande now, you're fucked. You know it, I know it, we all know it. If now you have Zelia and ETC plus Kerrigan, that's so much CC, and it's all about putting the pressure on Tyrande. Urel is obviously going to attempt to create space, duh. But if you want to play Tyrande setup after Stitch's hook, then you gotta be real careful here now. And Skynox, he goes for Ana. Okay, they're shifting things a little bit. So now we get Ana instead. Not really the lockdown that you normally want after Stitch's hook. Stitch's hooks can still isolate the target. ETC is obviously a little bit squishier. I'm actually excited for Zelia's ETC. I'm really, really curious what he can do with this. Yeah, now we got Dequaza as the final pick in game number 2 of the best of 3. He's going for Blaze, the triple frontline with Vala. That's it, ladies. Let's go. Without further ado, Tomb of the Spider Queen begins between Team Wa and Go Next. Game number 2, and the opportunity for Team Wa to qualify for another grand final in these qualification tournaments. So on the left side, we got Go Next with 0 on Sylvanas. We have Death Knight on Urel, Skynox this time on Ana, Wit on Stitches, and Kelvin on the Zagara. On the right side of the map, Dequaza with Blaze. We have Team Wa with Zelia on ETC, going for the proc rock on level 1. Easy stacking, of course, on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Gia on Malfurion, Dainu on Vala, and Azerite is playing Kerrigan. So, with that, we got... yeah, Stitch is already looking for the hook, as he should. Now, of course, even if he lands it, targets should be able to move out. The sleep is the only real CC that you have there. I mean, again, it adds something. It's allowing the rest of the team to get into position for a decent setup. But yeah, so here, once again, the attack in the mid lane with the 5 versus 5, so it gives Kerrigan an opportunity to maybe get a stun block. Talking about Kerrigan, instead she's gonna get murdered. Yep, Azerite is down. I gotta say that Wit is really hitting these hooks. He's doing well. He did well with a lot of the hook attempts in game number 1, despite the fact that they lost it in the end. But he's also doing pretty well here at the beginning of the game with a good hook on Zagara and another one against Gia. Good hook on Kerrigan, of course. Too many queens in here. Yeah, another kill against Sylvana, so she's dead. We got a lot of back and forth here. Gia nearly bit the dust a second earlier too, of course. With a bit more body blocking and targeting, they might have been able to take Malfurion down, but now it's a kill for a kill in the game. Our bot lane, Urel, she's gonna be met by Blaze in just a moment. Dequaza blazing it every day here. And the first camp is now getting attacked too. I'm a little bit hyped for this one. I want to see what ETC can do as the game continues. Obviously, for the time being, he also needs to deal with the vision a little bit. Zagara wants to protect their creep tumors here for good reason. And yep, top side. There we have it. Azerite play. playing it a bit safer because he knows that Stitches is around somewhere. At the bottom of the map, the first Siege Giant attempt is executed by Dequaza, so he's going to attempt to lock the camp in for the team, as Azerite is having a perfect vision of what's going on up here. They know that Blaze for now at least is safe. The problem, of course, is that they have to rotate topside in order to defend that wall. You can't leave Zagara alone on lane, or she is going to rip you a new one. Down at the bottom of the map, a bit of help would be needed too. So, yeah, this could get a little bit awkward. The two of them in a stalemate. A bit of hoppity-hop happening for Death Knight, but in the long run, Blaze is going to take it, and the rotation is happening too. Dequaza even leaving the point because he's hoping to stall out Urel a bit longer, which would allow Malfurion to get the root in. And Dino was moving in too, so there could have, in theory, been a kill on Urel. But Death Knight is not that easily fooled, so he knew exactly what was happening. Team also communicating, of course, the rotation, and therefore they had to go back. Then again, this is a bit of a different story. Wit with 12 gems is in trouble, and they want him, and they're gonna get him. They're gonna get him, and, well, they let the gems slide for now. They don't want to get caught there either. But it's still a kill, and the lead in experience is getting bigger. Level 4, the Vile Cleaver is coming in now too. Okay, that's a bit of an adjustment of what we oftentimes see. Bot lane, ooh, yeah, they are crushing this. Take the fountain down and you already find yourself in a good spot. Especially with the Siege Giants enhancing this even further, that's actually kind of brutal. If you think about it, before the first Webby wave is out, having the bottom keep already this exposed, the gate and the towers all eliminated, and then also the fountain getting attacked, that's a problem. Azerite has 22 gems. Both teams have not turned in a lot. Oh, the lockdown! The CC against Stitches! Holy shit! CC got locked down harder than California. I mean, damn son, that was an easy one. He completely got murdered. They attacked him from all sides. Jet propulsion, the root on Malfurion, and then also Zelia with his slide. He had no chance there. So ETC now dying for the second time in a row. And the turn-in has happened, at least from Kerrigan. And they have plenty of gems. More than enough gems to come in and deliver the first Web Weaver wave. A level 7 talent gives them, of course, an even bigger lead. So this is getting really, really dangerous for Go Next now. A good hook and maybe a kill would go a long way now, but I don't think they can set that up. Once those Web Weavers are en route, that bottom fort should fall. I wouldn't be surprised if they would focus their attention on a different lane, because they are hoping, obviously, to get a lot more out of this. The bottom fort should be an inevitable kill. Can they get a bit more here, though? They're trying. Here's the slide. The hook. Oh, Dino in a bit of trouble. Wit gets attacked too. Again, rooted and killed. Yeah, they're bodying Stitches now. They are crushing him. Stitches is just too big of a target. That bad boy needs to do a little bit more cardio and slim down so that the hitbox gets smaller. For now, he's just a prime target, and they are using him as a punching ball. Easy kills against him, 3 in total. The fort in the mid lane gets destroyed, and at the bottom of the map, this one is also not going to make it. Death Knight is already moving out. He is afraid that they are rotating for him, not only because it would be an easy kill, but also the 15 gems that he's holding. Now, we're talking about more than a level lead for Team Wah. And with level 10, they could go for the boss, and they are very likely going to do exactly that. Yeah, Stitches could, of course, attempt to get the hook out. Oh, that's slide. That could have been dangerous, too. Now, Vala needs a little bit of an assist. Dino's dancing around the boss nicely, but Azerite gets killed. Nice! And here comes the strafe. Level 10 abilities are, of course, huge in that situation. Zagara is dead. Jet propulsion activated again. At least the boss wasn't taken, so Go Next successfully prevented that from happening. And they got a kill in the process, too. They lost one hero, but that's totally fine as long as you prevent the boss from being locked in. Problematic is only that they might lose more if they stick around for too long here at the top, because they still don't have level 10s, and we still have a lot of cooldowns ready for the red team to engage into that fight. Not even the bunker was used. Not even Kerrigan used her ult. And Zelia obviously has also his mosh pit. Now, that's all forts destroyed. Now, we're 6.5 minutes into the game, and every single fort on the blue team side has been taken down. So that's big. That's pretty big. And they're getting closer and closer to a second turn in too, which is even more problematic. Here comes the mind control. Zagara is going to go for more. Doesn't have to tease here. It's not going to be a Nidus play. And, of course, Gorge. So it's all on Wit again. The pressure on Stitches. Yeah, and Zelia, he's been doing fairly well. They also controlled the creep spread of Zagara very nicely. Obviously, it helps that they have a lot of abilities that can destroy them. Or reveal them at least. 5 kills to 2. Damage output, 20,000 for Vala. We got 15,000 for Sylvanas. And the hooks are coming. Once that level 13 connects and the hook range gets extended, Wit is going to be more of a threat than he is already. But for now, he won't be able to do too much. And again, he doesn't have a lot of mobility, so every single time that he moves out a little bit too far, this is happening. Zelia gets pushed back by Urel, and that one was important. If that doesn't happen, there might be another kill in play. Because Zelia's power slide could have locked Stitches down a bit further, and let's not forget that he still has his mosh pit. That is a bit of a problem too, though. Yeah, and Anna gets attacked, trying to solo that. Skynox completely juking Azerite. Not even close, baby. But then again, Wit is in trouble. Goes for the Gorge. And yeah, that's at least a bunker. And it might be a kill. But they're buying plenty of time to break through the side wall. So Dequaza walks away unscathed. Bot lane then again with Siege Giants Catapult. And also the Web Weavers are murdering the structures. And they are moving in for Urel. So there's the mind control on Blaze. Oh, and he dies. But so does Sylvanas. The zoning more in the mid lane. Yeah, they're going for the attack here. Azerite, he's able to get out. He actually connected. And there comes the strafe. That's a big one. There could be a kill. Calvin, he survives, but Wit doesn't. Wit is gonna die. Wit is gonna die, and the bottom keep is also gone. We're 9 minutes into the game. Bottom keep is gone. Anna gets killed as Dino is moving in deep. And they have a shot at the core now. They might not be able to end it, but if they really commit to this, then they can at least take some points off the core. And they might get another kill here. Zagara is low and so is Sylvanas. Now instead of the core, they could obviously also focus to the keep in the middle of the map and try to get more map control instead. But the core is falling. The shields are already gone. And it's only a question of how much can they take down. With the catapult already on it and Siege Giants too, they took 30%. Without even trying, so to say. Now, can they end here? It's a bit questionable, but they can definitely deliver a lot of damage. And since they're still locking in kills, they will be able to end. Zagara is down. Stitches is saving himself. At least he's alive for a bit longer, but Karrigan eventually gets him dropped. And Death Knight dies too. That's 45 gems down the drain as well. So that's lights out. This is a 2-0 victory. Team Wa advances to the grand final once again. 12 kills to 3. The big snowball at the end. Massively successful. The red team qualifying for yet another grand final at the X-Cup Summer.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.